Alright guys, bam, MiniKiwi9 bringing you all the details for Illuvium. Now, as promised, I am going to cover this. There is so much, so much with Illuvium. I am not going to be able to cover, I'm not going to cover all the details with everything with like Illuvitars and so on, but I just want to give a quick overview, everything that I know about Illuvium. To be honest, there is so much, and they are, in my opinion, at least top five. At least top five as far as all gaming crypto. Now, personally, I would even rank them a bit higher. I mean, the price itself doesn't really reflect that per se, but they have an ambitious goal. I'll actually pull over the coin gecko here. I learned about them in October of last year, so right around this time, and I've been watching the project. I watched their price boom up, and now it's kind of gone down along with the rest of the market. Now, of course, price does not necessarily reflect, the game and the progress that they've been making. And so I'm going to cover over everything, how to get the token, even because I'm gonna buy the token for the first time here on the recording. So pumped to do that. Everything you can find is here at illuvium.io. Link, of course, I'll drop down below. Here you can, if you scroll down, you can see join the fight for ETH. So that's kind of one of the things is you will be able to do battles versus others for Ethereum. If you scroll down to the bottom, you can see some of the partners, which they actually have some more. I'll talk about that in a sec. But here you have the white paper. If you want to see all their details a little bit more in depth, their Illuvidex, which they are going to be upgrading as well. I know my face cam is kind of covering a little bit of this, but you can see everything. You can see their tokenomics as far as their ILV token and their release dates and schedules there. If we scroll back up to the top here, just real quick, you can see the games that they have coming up. So right now they have the Illuvium beta, which you can register for. I think they'll just accept everyone at this point. I have my previous video. You can see me playing that. So I was kind of just new and getting into it, but I would definitely take a look into that if you're interested in seeing what they have available to play at this time. They have Illuvium 0 coming out, Arena, and Overworld. But first, let's go ahead and jump into what they released first, which is their ILV token. So actually, if we scroll back down, you can see where you can get ILV, Binance, KuCoin, as far as exchanges. I am going to be doing it on a decentralized manner, so I'm going to jump into SushiSwap, and I am going to go ahead. I want to snag about like 14. Yeah, we'll do 0.60. So we're going to snag 14 Illuvium tokens, and so let's just go ahead and swap. Everyone who's familiar with crypto is going to know how it works as far as swapping. Here, let's go ahead and confirm this. We're going to have to approve the transaction first and then have it go through. So let's go ahead and run this. It will take a bit of time there. Yeah, let's go ahead and just add this as well. Add the token. So then we'll be able to see that we have it there once it does come in. Okay. So we'll give that a bit of a time. Now, I do want to, as far as I'll show you how to stake as well, because I'm going to stake it up. But as far as the games, because of course that is ultimately the goal of what we're getting into. So, and like I said, I have the beta that has been released. Illuvium 0 is going to be regarding their land, which is going to be the next thing I'm going to discuss. So, in their land, you'll be able to essentially farm resources, also be able to essentially get skins for the game. And then there is the Arena and the Overworld. Those are going to be coming out a bit later. As far as the timelines between all of these, of course, there has been hair and hair delays with those. Of course, they have the aggressive dates of release, and they have been doing a decent job as far as keeping up with some slight delays. You'll see here, just above, there's the Illuvitars coming soon, which is essentially their PFP project. Let's go ahead. It looks like we have our 14 Illuvium tokens now. So as we go here, let me actually move my camera down just a hair there, so now you guys can see. So there's the ILV pool where you can stake your Illuvium, and then you essentially gain more Illuvium for staking it. You'll get about 10% here. if based on the duration of your lock. So if you do it for just 1 month, you'll get about 6% almost. For 3 months, you get almost 7%, etc., etc. So I am going to go ahead and do 50% of my token. Oh, looks like I need a refresh here though. Does not show. Here we go. So let's go ahead and stake. Okay. Yeah, and you're gonna have to approve first before you stake, which is standard practice. Okay, let's go ahead and confirm that. The one downside with doing transactions on Ethereum is, of course, a bit of a delay to get the transactions to go through. So we're going to go ahead and do 50% of our Illuvium tokens here, so about 7. And we're going to go ahead, we're going to go ahead and do it for the 12-month period. Get as much of the APR as we can. I'm just going to set half of them there and let it do its thing. So let's go ahead and stake. We're going to have to approve the transaction one more time. Gratefully, with Ethereum, prices as far as gas goes has been a lot cheaper, and they have even taken steps past that to make it even cheaper. So, and I'll get into that with their land. All right, bam, we have deposit, and I will go ahead and just skip this at the moment. Now, the other thing they have is their Illuvium to ETH pool. So previously, when I just barely swapped some of my Ethereum into Illuvium, there essentially has to be some funds in there so people like me can go ahead and make the transactions. So what I'm actually going to do with the other half of my Illuvium, which I guess I'm not going to do it just for the video, just because what you'll have to do is you'll have to essentially put half of my Illuvium, so my other 7, and some Ethereum. I'm going to put them in a pool together, and then I can place it here and stake it, and I will be getting roughly, it looks like 87% at this time. Now, those are always fluctuating, and I'm not recommending you do it. It's just something that I'm going to be doing for my financial advice, like for my own personal decision. Of course, I'm not going to make any of these decisions for you. The whole financial advisor details that everyone's heard countless times. Now, that's enough regarding the token. It's, for me, it feels like a really good valuation as far as pricing that we're going to get with the progress that they have. Really being one of the front leaders as far as crypto gaming goes. Going to be attracting a bunch of players because the game is actually fun. They have other games upcoming. So let's go ahead and jump here to land. So these are the next, really the next thing that they released. As far as the best place to view it here is on their Illuvidex. Let me just open that up here. So here you can see that we'll get into the Illuvitars here in a bit, but there's the land sale, and you can see all the plots. Let me just click in here, so you can see there are different regions. There's 7 different regions here where you can get land, and then this is like kind of their trade post. If you think if you were familiar with sort of like their main trading center, everyone can go here to buy and sell resources. So based on the lands, you can determine what type of land you want to buy. There is different tiers, which I'll actually show here on Immutable. So what they've done here is they've actually gone on to an Ethereum layer 2, making the transactions essentially free with still having the security of Illuvium, making transactions much cheaper for the end user. And they are also, when they do release Illuvitars, going to be having these here as well. Now, the one thing, I'll have to move my camera again here, is you'll see that there is tiers. So there's different tiers of land based on how much, essentially, resources you'll be able to farm or mine on that land. So the tier 1 is going to be the cheapest, and the tier 2 has a little bit more resources, a bit more on the pricier end as well, as far as price goes. You can see, almost 1 Ethereum for some of these lands, and the price will continue to rise as you go into the higher tiers. So I'm just going to go ahead and just snag one of these ones. I'll actually snag, if we go back to the Illuvidex here, we can see Here is Crystal Shores, which is going to be the cheapest one, but this one's the exact same price for Brightland Steps. Let's take a look here. So it just kind of depends on what you're interested in. I am going to actually snag a Crystal Shores personally. So let's just go ahead and snag this tier 1 here. So you click here, click buy now. You'll have to confirm the transaction on this end. You'll have to, if you make transactions on Mutable, you'll have to have a little bit of funds on the IMX platform. You can just convert from your MetaMax or whatever wallet you are using onto IMX, no problem. Or you can even purchase funds on IMX directly. So go ahead and hit confirm. Hopefully no one snagged this first. I will still have to confirm that I am making a transaction through MetaMask. And bam, purchase complete, just like that. Instant. Notice how with the other, of course, when you're doing it through the Ethereum layer 1, you have to wait a bit of time. This, bam, instant. A lot going to be better for, buying and trading, selling, etc. So now I have this asset. It is owned by me, which is great. All right. So, like I said, with Illuvium land, let's go ahead and just go back to Illuvium.io here. We have the Illuvium land is going to be regarding the Illuvium 0. Illuvium 0 is where you'll have essentially, think of like a Clash of Clans like game, where you have your land, you can get resources from your land, and you can buy, sell, and trade that resources, which you will need for the overworld. Which the overworld is where you will be more of a freestyle type of game, where you can go out and hunt monsters, attack creatures, go research items. There is some gameplay that you can see online. I'll actually find the link and I'll drop it in the description as well. It's actually some pretty unique gameplay that you can see of the overworld, and there's been interviews and updates saying that even now, it even looks more polished than it already did. And to me, when I looked at it, it's actually very, very polished. So I'm excited to see once that does get released, which, of course, their targets at this time, as I've heard, is about end of the year. And maybe some of the ender parts, of course, they still have more and more developments planning, as it's going to be more than just these couple of games that they have released. Their plan is to be more of a studio, eventually get into MOBA, eventually get into real-time strategy, eventually get into first-person shooter. Of course, ambitious, and those are going to be more and more down the timelines. Now, just a couple days ago, which kind of brought me into making this today, is they've released their it's a little silly because they've released their development blog of August, but they released it September 21st, so which is just a couple days ago from me making this video. Nonetheless, they have all the details. I will drop it in the description if you want to read in depth regarding, for example, their arena and their highlights, or the overworld and their details, like I was just talking about. And then here we have the Illuvium 0, which I was talking about. This product has been ready for a long time. You're just waiting for some polishing, which that for me is what I'm excited to use. So that land that I just bought, for the example, I will now be able to go onto that land. Last I heard, it was about 20 to 30 minutes of things you can do on that land, which you can then get your resources, and you can also get something that's called blueprints, which is essentially the skins of the alluvials. So you can essentially hype up or make more of a flex with your specific characters that you do gain. And so those blueprints are things that you can sell, or you can design them into skins. And so that's going to be up to your discretion, and that's where giving powers to the players is going to be being able to be beneficial for us going forward. So if you want to read over all these, if you're specifically curious about Illuvatars, this is where you'll have more of the profile picture-esque view. You see those people with their NFTs on their profile. I'm not gonna, that Illuvium land NFT, I'm not gonna put that as my profile. It's just kind of some dots at the moment. But the Illuvatars, this is where we're gonna have a super cool design. Like we were seeing here. Something like this. You can kind of customize and make it your own. And bam, that could be your profile. And they are having it where you of course have a unique animation with opening the packs. And with these packs, you're going to have it where they have it set more of a Pokemon, where you want to catch them all, and you'll have these albums of of Illuvatars that you'll want to catch, and you know, some people are going to be interested in catching them all. There's going to be even holographic versions, or like dark holographic versions, as far as like, you know, increased rarities, you know, similar to Pokemon Go. If you've played that, you know that they have the, you know, shiny Pokemon is how I'm viewing that. Down at the bottom they have the summary, which is kind of their plan for release. So they have the Illuvidex, which I just had pulled up, you know, kind of showing the land areas. They're going to make a little overhaul on that. My understanding is actually coming out here soon, maybe in the next couple days with that. So if you go and check, you know, go and take a look at their Illuvidex, you might see it upgraded since I have made this video. They have the private beta 2 arena. So the video that I did previously regarding the arena, which I actually have on my other screen. Let me see. I should be able to swap this over really quick for you guys. So you see here, this is their private beta they have now. You can play, and you're able to play it. And again, you can view my video when I did that. Currently, they only have their survival mode where you play against the AI, go. The Leviathan is where you're going to be able to play against other players, and you can stake or risk an amount of ETH, and it's like a winner-take-all type of game mode. So once that comes on, you know, if you have high-level alluvials, you will be able to, you know, based on your skill, if you have better skill than other players and they're willing to play you, you know, you can then gain Ethereum, is my understanding, is what they're going to be trading. So kind of cool to see that. And then they have the Alpha Zero, or the Zero Alpha, excuse me, which is their land, which that is what I'm most excited for regarding getting into this game, because I now have that piece of land, which I was planning on buying. You know, I was planning on snagging one, so I want to go ahead and play that. I want to start farming some of the resources. I want to start getting the blueprints, which is like the skins for the game. You know, something that maybe I can keep on and use on my characters, or, you know, possibly trade and sell going forward. Then they have the private beta 2 for the overworld, which is where you're going to be able to kind of free and explore the land. That is, of course, going to be a great part of the game. Something that is going to bring more of the, you know, recreational players that just want to go and explore a new world, you know, be able to get into there. So that, of course, I'm excited to get into. Then we have Illuvatars, which is, like I just talked about, that is what they were actually planning on releasing that when they released the land, is my understanding. But they decided to push that out, make sure they get all the proper marketing to really push out, and, you know, hopefully have people set that as a profile picture. Something that I actually think I want to do if I actually get one that I resonate with, and so I'm hoping that's something that I can represent here going forward. So that's roughly everything that I wanted to cover. Just double checking my notes here. Looks like that's most of the details that I wanted to cover. If you have any questions about Illuvium, go ahead and drop it down in the comments. I'll be happy to get back to you. I'm keeping a close pulse on this game. Definitely something that I think is one of the front runners for crypto gaming, and they're doing it right. They're taking the steps that they need. They're being aggressive with their dates, but of course they're also understanding that if they aren't ready to release it, they will pull back the reins. They've got a super active community in their Discord. You know, everything is really checking off with this game, so I'm pumped with it. I'm keeping my eyes on it. Let me know if you guys are keeping your eyes on any other games. Really appreciate if you drop a like and a subscribe. I'm going to be doing more updates on Illuvium as they come out with more. Maybe when they release that private beta 2, I'll drop another video. Of course, I'm jumping in and looking into other games as well. If you guys are looking into any other games that you think I should check out, let me know, please. I'm happy to take a look into them, kind of do a deeper dive. So, see you guys on the next one. Peace.